Good evening, East Alabama to West Georgia. Dr. Don in here with you at 11 p.m. on April 21st, 2023. We're going to do a little weather coverage for you. We've got some pretty heavy thunderstorms moving across central Alabama now, about to move into East Alabama. We have a lot of people up here at the Supermotor Speedway in Talladega getting ready for a big race weekend, and we have some big thunderstorms about to move into the Talladega area and into the area of the Supermotor Speedway. So we wanted to kind of show you what was going on out there this morning, and or this evening, I should say, about to be morning, and kind of bring you up to date on the weather situation. Now, first, let me say that we have no severe weather at all out there this morning, but we do have some strong thunderstorms. We had a special weather statement that was in effect for western and southwestern sections of Talladega County. They being the National Weather Service, has allowed that special weather statement to expire. Actually, they canceled it because the storm dropped below special requirements here, so it is below severe limits, but it's still strong. So I want everybody that's up there maybe camping in Talladega, in and around the Supermotor Speedway, to understand that you don't have any warnings, but you do have some heavy rain, some thunder, lightning, and maybe even some real small hail in a very small area there to the southwest of Talladega that may be about to move across the Supermotor Speedway area. So you're going to want to make sure that you are protected from this line of thunderstorms as it moves through. And it is coming in your general direction from the southwest. We will zoom out, and bear with me here. I'm trying to do about 15 things at one time. Okay, so we got the Weather Service chat room up so I can see what's happening in there. So we zoom back out, and you can see the overall line of thunderstorms moving across central Alabama at this hour. And the heaviest part of this, let me bring it current and stop it for you. The heaviest part of this is stretching from Cherokee County back down to just north of, or just south of Gadsden, just north of Anniston, and then back to about Pell City, and then across the lake, across I-20, and then down into western sections of Talladega County, stretching down to around Sylacauga, and then back to the southwest, down to around Clanton, Alabama, and then down into extreme northwestern Autauga County. And this is moving to the east, with the individual cells moving off to the northeast this evening as the entire line moves across Alabama. Now, this is not a very wide area of activity, but it's moving relatively slow, so it will take a few minutes for this to pass through your area once it moves in. Right this moment, as far as East Alabama is concerned, the absolute heaviest part of this line of thunderstorms will be just north and northwest of downtown Sylacauga, just east of 280 between Childersburg and Sylacauga. And that, of course, like I said, will continue moving on off to the northeast, should move south of Winterboro, and then that part of the storm should move well south of the Talladega Motor Speedway, and would end up over somewhere around Waldo in about an hour or so. Then, as we come back up to the north and look at Talladega, and then up here around the Supermotor Speedway right there on I-20, big area of very heavy rainfall about to move into, there's the Supermotor Speedway. And you can see back off to the west, we have that area of very heavy rainfall moving in the general area of the Supermotor Speedway. So you folks, you're up here in the infield and out in the camping areas around the Supermotor Speedway, hunker down. You have some very heavy rainfall headed your way. Don't see much in the way of lightning at the moment in this particular area, but that could change at any moment. So you have to assume that lightning is a threat with this line of thunderstorms, and some pretty heavy rainfall will be moving into the area here in the next 15 minutes or so. And then again, as we zoom back out, big area of rain up there around Jacksonville State. And then as we look back down the line, you have that real heavy cell northwest of Sylacauga and southeast of Childersburg. As far as Clay County is concerned, you just have some really light to moderate rain showers now over on the western side of the county. Nothing happening on the south side of I-20 in Cleburne. Randolph, nothing happening at the moment. Down here in Tallapoosa County, you're okay. Chambers is good. Lee County is good. We do have a few lone showers over here in Georgia. That would be to the northeast of Columbus, maybe south, a little bit southwest of Thomaston. Those cells are out there by themselves. But for the moment, most of East Alabama and West Georgia is in good shape, but this line is moving east, so it will move across all of East Alabama and West Georgia over the course of the next couple of 2 or 3 hours. Again, this system moving pretty slow. It's not a real fast mover, so once it makes it into your area, it may rain for 30, 45 minutes or so, and then the heaviest part of this is out of here. As we zoom all the way back out, we are noticing some showers developing on the extreme southern end of this line, all the way back to the Mississippi state line. That's the stuff that would affect the Montgomery and I-85 corridor, and that may be a couple of 2 or 3 hours away before it gets over into the Columbus-Phoenix City area. So just wanted to kind of jump in here and show you a little bit about what's going on this evening, especially because we have all the folks camping up here at Talladega getting in ready for the big race on Sunday. Races on Saturday and Sunday, and we know that a lot of folks are camping out up there, so that's the primary reason we're here doing coverage for you this evening. So let me jump over here in the chat room and see if there's any questions I can answer for you. We have no watches, no warnings. We do not anticipate any organized severe weather here. This would just be a good old down-home southern summertime thunderstorm activity when the line moves through your area as we head toward the midnight hour across East Alabama and West Georgia. Let's see. You're welcome, Andrew. Thank you. Pamela is watching us down in Opelika. Good to have you in here this evening. Cindy is in Roanoke. Thank you, Cindy Bain. LaGrange, Georgia in the house. There's Miss Deborah. Let's see. A lot of thunder around North Chambers. You're hearing thunder from way off to your west. You're talking the closest thunder to you, or closest lightning that's causing thunder, if you're down here in southern Randolph or northern Chambers, is way back over extreme northwestern Coosa, southern Talladega. So it's about 40, maybe 45 miles away from you, which is not uncommon. You can hear, actually see lightning and hear thunder up to 80, 90 miles away sometimes if the weather conditions are just right. Dahlonega, Georgia in the house. Dalton, Georgia in the house. Good morning, Catherine. Good to see you. Lynn's watching us over in LaGrange, Georgia this morning. I keep saying this morning, this evening. It is morning where I am. Jessica asking about Roanoke later on. Yes, probably this line is moving relatively slow. We're probably looking at a good hour, maybe a little longer before it gets into the Roanoke, Randolph County area. Abel, Alabama in the hood. Good morning, James, or good evening. Thank you, Christy. Thanks, Cindy. Big Springs, Alabama. East Randolph. Casita in the house. Good morning, Rachel. Calhoun, Georgia. Wind is awful. Yeah, that would be some gradient wind. It's not thunderstorm wind. Well, you've got that line right there coming into Calhoun. So, yeah, that may be from the thunderstorms. So I stand corrected. That front's coming into Calhoun, but look, it's not severe. You just got a little gust front going on out there ahead of that line of showers. The thunderstorms themselves are way below severe limits. Everywhere, and especially that piece coming into Calhoun, there's not much to it. Valley's in the house. Chiffon, thank you. No warnings anywhere. No warnings for Gordon County, Georgia, anywhere in Georgia or Alabama. We have 0 warnings this evening and this morning. No watches or warnings. Mook is watching us up in Calhoun, Georgia. We're picking up a lot of viewers in Northwest Georgia. I appreciate you guys. Alexander City. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Chance. Chance is watching us over on YouTube this evening or this morning, depending on where you are. And I highly suggest you do that. If you don't typically watch us on YouTube, I do encourage you to at least go over there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That will get you a much more reliable notification when we go live to do severe weather coverage. You can continue to watch us on Facebook, that's fine, but if you'll head over to Dr. Don's Weather on YouTube and subscribe to our channel, it is free, doesn't cost you a dime, and click the little notification bell, then you get what's referred to as a push notification when our stream goes live. It's instant, it's automatic, it's not based off of any type of weird algorithm. Facebook is it's not conducive for urgent information because of the way Facebook works. Facebook is constantly updating what you see on your feed, and it's based upon what you look at most. So if you don't get on Facebook and purposely go to Dr. Don's Weather on Facebook very often, even though you follow us on Facebook, eventually we will get bumped way down on the priority list on your Facebook feed, which means you may not ever get notified when we go live to cover severe weather. You may miss a lot of stuff that we do on Facebook. So the idea here is to go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get the notification from YouTube when we go live. Then you can watch us either on Facebook, YouTube, or you can even go over to our website at drdonwx.com and watch our live feed there as well. So it's a very good idea to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. Then that way you'll be guaranteed to get notified when we have severe weather in the area and when we go live for severe weather. Melanie watching us this morning in the capital city of Abanda, Alabama. West Point, Georgia in the house. Hey, Nan. Look at here. We got some coastal folks with us. Spanish Fort in the house. Welcome, Donna. Yeah, I agree about the rain on the tin roof. I have a tin roof. And my home is the bedroom is actually in what would be considered a loft. And so our roof is literally, as a matter of fact, when something startles me and I sit straight up in the bed, I'll bang my head on the roof. That's how close I am to that tin. So, unfortunately, though, most of the time when we're getting a good thunder shower or thunderstorm, I'm not in the bed asleep. I'm here with you guys or out doing my EMA thing. So, unfortunately, I don't get to enjoy that great sleeping weather with the rain hitting that tin roof. But yeah, you're right. There's nothing quite like it. Hey, Brandon Cobb, good to see you in here, buddy. Roanoke going to get wet tonight? Yep. Believe you will. It's going to be a minute before it gets to Roanoke and Randolph County, but probably hour and a half from now, maybe approaching 1 a.m. Central. I think you'll see some showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder across Randolph. Wedowee, Wadley. West Georgia, you're looking good. No severe weather watches or warnings out there this morning. The primary reason I'm on for you is because we have the races coming up this weekend up in Talladega, and we have an area of pretty heavy rainfall about to move across the Talladega Motor Speedway area. So I wanted to jump in here and just give you a little update and give you folks who may be up there camping at the Speedway for this weekend's races, kind of give you a heads up on this heavy rain that's now just west of 77, which is over there on the western side of the complex. And it will be moving across the Speedway within the next, probably next 15 minutes or so. So if you're on Facebook and if you have not already done so, and you only have to do this one time, if you haven't already done so, you'll see a link that scrolls, that automatically posts here in our chat room from time to time. In the upper left-hand corner of the link, it says Restream.io. That is not spam. That is something that you need to do if you're on Facebook so that I know who you are. Restream is the service we use to distribute our streaming signal to our different social media platforms. So Facebook, being Facebook, decided about 6 months ago that they were not going to automatically allow your username to be shared with any other social media platforms without your permission. So what you have to do is click on that link and tell Facebook it's okay to share your name or username with Restream so that I see who you are. If you don't do that, you simply show up as Facebook user. And if you don't want anybody to know who you are, that's perfectly fine. Then, don't do it. But if you're okay with folks knowing who you are, then be sure and click on that link. It's chat.restream.io/FB. And again, like I said, you can either scroll back to the top of this chat and you'll find that link, or just wait for it to post again. Click on it, give Facebook permission to share your username with Restream. Then that way, when you post in the chat room, it'll show your name, so I'll know who you are. Let's see here. Clay County's in the house. Thank you, James. Wadley, you're looking good. You've got some rain coming your way, but we're not looking at anything severe here. We had a special weather statement from the National Weather Service for Talladega County, specifically the western side of Talladega, but they have since canceled that. At the moment, we have nothing. We have no watches, no warnings, no special weather statements. for any part of East Alabama or West Georgia. Thank you, Jackson. Oh, D. White was down in Oxford tonight, was he? Cool. En route to Cragford from Oxford, Alabama. Just left Dwight Yoakam. He puts on a good show. Yeah, Cindy, that's correct. Cindy just posted, "I love YouTube because of notifications," and she's correct. Their notification process is much more conducive for sensitive and time sensitive information because it's instant. It's instant as it happens. Facebook is not, so that's why it's important for you to go over there and subscribe to our channel. Yeah, Heather, I saw him. Well, I've seen him twice, but I saw him at June Jam. Oh, and by the way, Alabama's doing that again this year, if you guys didn't know. June Jam, which back in the 90s was the concert venue of all concert venues, up in Fort Payne, Alabama. It was held by the supergroup Alabama. And I got to see Dwight up there in concert. And I believe that was the same year Billy Ray Cyrus was there. That was back when I worked at the radio station in Roanoke and had the awesome opportunity of introducing Lurleen Mandrell, and also got to interview Billy Ray Cyrus that year. That was right before, well, actually, Achy Breaky had been released, but I mean, like, it had been released a week or so before that event. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the same year Dwight Yoakam was there. And he did put on a heck of a show. Yeah, and again, if you hadn't heard about it, Alabama's doing that again this year. Of course, we lost Jeff Cook, but the rest of them are still there. And they're coming back with June Jam. And that ought to be something. I'm telling you, if you've never experienced, number one, an outdoor country music concert venue, you need to go. Number two, if you've never experienced that, it is amazing. I'll never, ever, ever, as long as I live, as long as the good Lord allows me to hang around with you guys, I'll never forget Randy Owen sitting on a stool at midnight after a long hot day of country music acts, singing Angels Among Us. And in part of it, he did a cappella. And there's 80,000 people in the venue, and he's doing Angels Among Us. That was the last song of the night, and it was just, it was an experience. It was an experience. If you ever get a chance to experience that, you need to. Oh, Heather, you've got to see Alabama in concert, and that's the best way to do it. Get your tickets and go. You owe it to yourself. You will not be disappointed. Well, I appreciate the kind words. I mean, I taught James everything he knows, so... No, thank you. I'm very honored to be put in the same same paragraph, much less same sentence with James Spann. James the man. And I respect everything he does and what he stands for. He's a good human being, and then his weather abilities come second. And that says a lot about James. He does a good job, and I'm just flattered to even be mentioned in the same conversation with James. So thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Kimberly, you hadn't missed anything. No severe weather out there this evening. Main reason I'm here, I'll be straight up and honest with you. We had a residential structure fire up here, the area where I live in Northeast Georgia. And of course, y'all know most of you know, I'm the deputy public safety director up here, so on major events, I respond to it. So I got rocked out of bed about an hour and 15 minutes ago because of the structure fire, which didn't turn out to be that bad. It was a fire, but it wasn't that bad. So I was up anyway, and we have this line of thunderstorms moving into East Alabama, and there are maybe a handful of people up at Talladega tonight getting ready for a little bitty race this weekend. And we got some pretty heavy rainfall moving into that area. Ordinarily, it takes some significant severe weather for us to go live. But, hey, we were already up, and we have a lot of people up here at the Motor Speedway that's about to get wet. So not that at this time on Friday night getting ready for race weekend they care about getting wet. I'm just saying. I just thought I'd jump in here and give you a heads up. Some pretty heavy rainfall crossing over 77 now, just to the west of the Speedway, headed toward the track. So it's going to get pretty wet up there. The lightning has really subsided here in the last 30 minutes, which is what we expected. This line is weakening. It's not intensifying. It's weakening. So, and it's moving relatively slow. So I'm not seeing a lot of lightning output with this at the moment. Just some pockets of very heavy rainfall. And the heaviest part of the entire line is now just north of Sylacauga, east of 280, north of Sylacauga, that area. Maybe a little small hail in there. So that's way south of the track, and that's not going to affect you folks up there at Talladega either. We zoom out so you can kind of see the big picture, and you see some heavier thunderstorms moving into North Georgia now, coming up on Calhoun up here along I-75. Rome is getting in on the action, and then it stretches back across Cherokee County, Alabama, and then pretty significant area there between Gadsden and Anniston over Jack State. Nothing severe, just heavy rainfall. And then that thin line of showers and thunderstorms stretching all the way down through Talladega, Sylacauga, and then into Clanton down here in Chilton County. And then the line kind of breaks up a little bit with pockets of showers back to the southwest from Selma all the way back over to the Mississippi state line. And then we have some showers over here by themselves south of Thomaston, Georgia, lifting off to the north. And you folks up here in northeast Georgia, nothing happening right now. Probably another couple of 2 or 3 hours before we get in on the action up here, Gainesville area, up into Helen and Toccoa, Dahlonega. It'll probably take another couple of hours for that stuff to get over here. So other than that, I'm just hanging and having a good time talking to you guys. Hey, Tanner. I know I'm not supposed to say the R word on race weekend, but that's better than the S word. Unfortunately, this year, that's not even a remote possibility. Here's the good news. At least for today's race, for those of you where it's already Saturday, if you're in the Central Time Zone, you got 20 minutes before it's Saturday. So here's the good news as far as Saturday is concerned. This rain that's moving into the area now will be way out of the area by race time today. And so there should be zero issues with that. But let me just look at the latest before I say something here. Yeah, Sunday looks good. They have removed that chance of rain from Sunday. So there you go. We get this rain out of here. The rain's long gone before sunrise this morning, Saturday morning. Track has time to dry out before race time today. And there is virtually no chance of rain on Sunday. Look at Sunday, would you? We're talking sunny and 72. That is Webster's Definition of a perfect day for Talladega. So here's the good news. If we had to deal with the R word, we're dealing with it at the right time. It'll be long gone. So racing on Saturday and Sunday should be no problem for Talladega this year. I'll switch over to my Radar Omega, which is one of my new cool little tools I like to look at because we can look at it in 3D. Isn't that cool? So this is your line of thunderstorms, and what it does, it shows us how tall the storms are. Being able to see, where you see the darker reds, obviously, is the stronger portions of the storm because that's where the clouds are the tallest. Then we can take this and rotate. We can look at it from the top. We can spin it back around. We're down here over the Alabama-Mississippi state line now, looking back in to the storms that have already passed this area. Then we can continue and come on up here around Huntsville and look back into the storms. Again, looking at it from north to south. Spin it back around and come back over into Georgia and look back into the storms that are coming your way in Georgia. And looks like this area just north of I-20, but it's that area between Gadsden and Anniston. That would be this area. And then that stuff just north of Sylacauga at the current time are the two heaviest sections of this storm. Well, that just kind of gives you a cool perspective. And you can also put that joker in motion. Look at that. Pretty cool. This area, the Sylacauga storm doesn't look quite as strong as it did just a few minutes ago, but that's the Sylacauga storm. And then get down here around Chilton County, southeastern Chilton, extreme northeastern Autauga County. We got a sail down there. It's kind of strong. But again, all this is below severe limits. We don't even have any special weather statements out there this evening or this morning, depending on where you are. And then we get some timing. So we're looking at about 12:30 up here in Delta. So you can see, at least the computer algorithm is saying it's going to take 45 minutes for it to move from the Talladega-Clay County line to the other side of Clay County. So it's a pretty slow-moving storm front here. about 12:25, 12:30 over here in New Site, Daviston area. And we'll put it back on our WSB3 Southern Union State Community College live Doppler HD radar. Let me see here because I think we lost our feed from. Looks like Birmingham is down. All right, let's switch to Montgomery then. There we go. We got some weirdness going on here. All right, looks like the National Weather Service has lost their AWS feed again. Let me switch to level 3 and see if I can get that back. We may have to go back to Radar Omega and stay with it because check the composite feed. All sites are still showing down. Okay. All right, let me try one other thing here. All right, so I'm going to have to take the radar down for a second. Got a black screen. Okay, we got the radar back now. There we go. I had to switch feed services to get it back. That's okay. It's working. Let's see. Any questions? Sleet and rain in Iowa. Keep it. We do not want sleet in Alabama or Georgia. So enjoy, Iowa. Good to see you, Abby. Thank you. Appreciate you dropping in. Yeah, Anniston looks fine. I mean, you got some heavy rain up there, and maybe a little lightning from time to time up there just north of Anniston. Looks like we've got some lightning and maybe a hail core just north of downtown Anniston. But it's not nothing severe. It looks like the heaviest of the rain has now cleared the Supermotor Speedway. The rain is trucking on off to actually looks like it's picked up in forward speed just a little bit because now it's well past the Motor Speedway. It's coming up on the Oxford exit there off of I-20. And then as we look to the south, the line of showers is just to the west of Cheehaw. Moving or about to clear Waldo. Heavier showers moving into southwest Clay County, just west of Highway 9. And then from Goodwater back down to around Hanover and down to Kelly's Crossroads in Coosa. There's a zoom out, heavy rainfall in Titus, Deatsville, and down to around Otaugaville down in Autauga County. So we've got some light rain up in northwest Randolph, southern Cleburne, up around Chulafini. Between Heflin and Chulafini, we have some moderate showers moving to the east. Light rain up there in northwest Randolph. Nothing so far in Roanoke. All this green you see down here In Chambers, Tallapoosa, Lee, and back over into West Georgia, that's ground clutter. They've got the radar site in clear air mode, so they can get a good look at this. And so it's picking up a lot of ground clutter down here by the radar site. We'll switch to Birmingham when it decides to. There we go. And that cleans it up a little bit. And we can go take a look at Peachtree City and probably get even a better look. Now, all sites have switched to clear air mode. That's why I lost the feed. Okay, well, we can still see where the rain's at, though. But as you can tell, I mean, all of this stuff is well below severe limits. Now, this was severe earlier today and last night off to our west. But the forecast was for this line of thunderstorms to move into our area after midnight tonight, and it may be running 30 minutes ahead of schedule, but that's pretty close. And to be weakening as it moved through East Alabama and West Georgia, and that's exactly what's happening. This is a weakening, decaying line of showers and thunderstorms that are way below severe limits, and we have not even seen a special weather statement on anything in this line now for well over an hour. So it doesn't look like we're going to see anything out of this other than just some good old rain, good sleeping weather as it moves through the area. So we are going to say goodnight and wish you a good rest of your Friday evening, Saturday morning. What is grapple? Abby is asking the question, what is grapple? It is not snow and it is not sleet. It is somewhere in between. Grapple would be a wet cross between rain, sleet, and snow. It's snow that melts and refreezes, and it forms what's commonly referred to as grapple. I call it spit. Hey, this is late night TV. We can say those kind of things, right? I call it spit. And we get that a lot up here in Northeast Georgia, especially because where I'm located, we're on the south side of the Appalachian Mountains. So quite often in the wintertime, we'll have high pressure off the northeast coast, which pushes cold air back into Georgia off of the Atlantic, and it dams up on the south side of the Appalachian Mountains. Quite often, we'll be 2 or 3 degrees cooler on the south side of the mountain than communities on the north side of the mountain, such as Blairsville, Blue Ridge. A lot of times, you'll see the temperature in Dahlonega, Cleveland, and Helen, Georgia, a couple of 2 or 3 degrees cooler than what you see further north up in Blue Ridge and Hiawassee, Blairsville, and that's because of cold air damming. These high pressure systems push that cold air up against the southern side of the mountain chain. And then we'll have weather systems or moisture come up from the south. So in the higher elevations, obviously it's snow where it's colder. And then when it gets into the lower levels of the atmosphere, that snow starts to melt. And then we'll have that cold layer of air that's been dammed up across the Appalachian Mountains at the lower levels of the atmosphere. And then that melting snow refreezes in the lower 5,000 feet of the atmosphere and becomes grapple before it hits the ground. I hope that answered your question. That was a cool question, Abby. Thank you. All right, folks, we're going to shut this down. Of course, I'll continue to watch this throughout the night. If anything were to change, we'll come back and continue with coverage. I do not anticipate that. I think all we're looking at are some probably not even thunderstorms at this point. We'll call it thunder showers for the next hour or so across Clay, Randolph, Tallapoosa, Chambers, Lee, and eventually working into West Georgia across Carroll, Hurd, Troup, and Harris. I think probably by 2 to 3 a.m. it'll be well over into middle Georgia. There could be some scattered showers immediately after this front moves through, but it won't last long. And by the time the sun comes up, we should be looking at a mostly cloudy start to your Saturday, then gradually clearing. And I think by race time today at Talladega, things will be perfect. We're looking at 71 for your high this afternoon. Tonight, for all of you folks who may be hanging out at the Supermotor Speedway, mostly clear for your Saturday evening, down to 47. So it'll be just perfect for bonfires and things that you do at Talladega. And then on Sunday for the big race, I don't think we could ask for much better weather than we're going to have. Sunny skies on Sunday. 72 degrees will be your high on Sunday afternoon. Should be perfect. Geico 500 racing weather at the Supermotor Speedway in Talladega. As a matter of fact, our next mention of rain doesn't come until Tuesday. And that'll only be a 30% chance of rain Tuesday afternoon. So I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night, Saturday morning. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be back in here first thing tomorrow morning with your primetime forecast, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Friday. We'll see you next time on Dr. Don's Weather.